All we often think about is how to actually do better. And often when we think about that, when we sort of puzzle in our mind when we're left to ourselves, is that we feel bad about ourselves. And we think that there's some sort of way to puzzle to success, that there is a moment that you could do. There's something that you can do to get there, to put it all together. And ultimately, in the long run, it's just simply doing what you've always done. It's one step over the other, being really boring, tedious, and there is no sort of shortcut or anything along those lines that you can accelerate, speed up what you've already done. You simply just have to take those steps forward. And yet, when we look at it, we think in our mind, is there a way that I can get there quicker? Is there a way? Is there something that I'm doing wrong? And then when we realize that sometimes, many times, at least I do, I look at what I'm doing and I simply say, I am doing things wrong. And then I feel bad about myself and I want to give up. I don't want to do many of the things that allow me to keep going. The number one thing is just simply repetition, repetition, repetition. And I think it's fascinating in our heads where we really go there and we think that we're the problem. We think that there there is something that is going on that I can't solve, that I am the central thing that's making this all fall apart. We don't realize is that there's many other things that are going on behind the scenes. Many, many things that you can't put your finger on, that you'll never be able to control, that's far outside of your control. And you simply just have to be okay with who you are. So why am I actually talking about this? I'm talking about this because often the solution to being better, the solution to knowing what to do in terms of improving is often just pulling back and knowing that you're going to be okay. Not thinking about all of those things that you think about in your head that you want to speed it up and become more successful and know what is the right strategy that you need to do to get there, to do something where you think in your where you put it all together. And you think that there is a thing that you need to do, and the thing is maybe just be more of you. Maybe it's just simply sitting there and realizing you're okay. And so if that's the case, if you're sitting there realizing that you're okay, maybe you should simply step back a little bit. Stop getting in your head. Stop thinking about how that you're somehow behind and that there is a single strategy to get there. There is a sort of step by step process, that there is this performance outcome that that matters in some sort of way, and then you can calculate your way to success, whatever that means. Ultimately, I don't think that that's the way that the world actually works many times. Like many times that there's things outside of your control. Many times that there is physical limitations that you have. Many times that you may never actually get to where your head tells you that you can get to. You think that you want to be, I don't know, you want to be a multimillionaire or you want to be the next NFL player, whatever, right? Like anything like that in our heads, we think that there is like this easy way and we can simply strategize or do something to get there. The truth is you often can because very few people try. And there is this insanity to what you actually have to do to get there. But at the same time, to get there, you often have to let go of a lot of this internal baggage that you're carrying, that you should get there today, that today should be the moment. And because you're not there today, you're never going to get there. Or because this thing didn't work out today, that you're ultimately a failure and you're a problem and you should never try for that thing. Now, there's many people that should never try to become an NFL player. I strongly believe that. There's things called genetics and all of this kind of thing. But that does not mean that you certainly can't be a serious player in your hometown. You can't be you could be a very serious fantasy football player. You could do all of these things that do require practice and do require a lot of work. And you can get the joy out of those particular things. And that requires you to often step back and say, what am I actually doing here? Is this something that matters? Is this really what I want to do? Is to beat myself up all the time? I look at, it's interesting because I think about and I hear sort of stories where people quit because they're working so hard at something and they don't want to do it. The answer often is simply, instead of going 4 hours a day at something, you go 3.5, where you just step back just a little bit. That allows you to have a little bit of time for yourself and allows you to do well. And now going from 4 hours of practice, whatever it is, you want to become a basketball player, you want to do that one thing that you deem yourself as successful, whatever that is. But you go from 4 to 3.5. Sometimes that means that the 4 hours is what professionals do and what it means to actually practice in a professional setting. And 3.5 is semi-professional. You're not at the same level. Well, you can either say that, I'm the problem, that there's something that's flawed with me, or you can simply recognize that you're doing the best that you can at this moment. And if semi-professional is okay, and it should be for most of us, why not? Why do we get fixated on being the thing or making some arbitrary number in our minds or getting to some place by certain amount when ultimately many things in our lives we're going to get there, we're going to do really well. It's going to take some time, but we might not get to the 100% that you're thinking about, but damn well you probably can get to 75%, and damn well it's better than everybody else. I want you to stop and think about that. All these things that you arbitrarily think in your head, right? Like, you need to be there, or this matters at this moment. And then because you don't get there, you think that you are a failure, you're a problem. Ultimately, that's not the truth. Ultimately, you just got to simply step back, ease out of it just a little bit, snap out of this craziness that you have in your head. And I'm not using that in a pejorative way, but in a way of you're just thinking that you are somehow a problem. The truth is you're not. For most of us, you're not. Most of us, you're doing okay. And you simply just have to ease back just a little bit. Not all of it, a little bit. Instead of going 100% all of the time, you simply go 75% or 85% all of the time, and you enjoy it. You figure out how that you can enjoy it. You can get something out of it rather than going 100% all of the time, every single day. And it's been a hard lesson for me to learn. It's been a hard lesson to reconcile in my life, but it's something that's important in my life. It allowed me to realize, yeah, I'm okay. If I don't get to that thing right now, I'm okay. And if I don't ever get to it, I'm probably going to be okay. And I often have to just realize in any given day, only so much I can do. I have a lot of forgiveness of myself. And I just keep trying every day, every single day, taking a step back, realizing I'm good enough. It's a hard lesson for most of us to think about, to take a step back and realize I'm okay. And if the outcomes that I sort of think about are not there, that's okay. I'll manage. I'll get by. I'll be happy. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day.